American and Caribbean blacks are not the descendants of Africans, but of the swarthy Aboriginals that inhabited Europe for over 1,500 years. Here in a book called Ancient and Modern Britons on page 44. I'm going to go over the part that I have highlighted. But at any rate, the people known as Iberians were spread all over the British Islands, whether indigenous or immigrants. And some of their tribes were known as the Damoy and the Silures. This seems to be generally admitted. Physically, they were swarthy of color and had curly hair and were bearded like goats. They, or some clans of them, worshipped the gods, and both men and women professed a knowledge of the future. So then, the Druids and Druidesses, who had colleges in the island near the coast of Brittany, who professed the knowledge of the future, who, the men at least, were figured as bearded like goats, and who worshipped the gods, were dark-skinned, curly-haired Iberians. So this is talking about the Iberians. Iberians are from Spain and Portugal, because the original name for Spain and Portugal, or that region of the world, was called the Iberian Peninsula. Iberians are from Spain and Portugal, otherwise known as the Iberian Peninsula. So this is talking about the Iberians being people from Spain and Portugal. And it says that they are swarthy of color, dark-skinned, and curly-haired. They're not Caucasoid. They're not white. They're not pale. They're not fair-skinned. These are the ancestors of the people that are now called African American. We do not descend from Africans. We did not come from Africans. Our ancestors are not African. Because as this book clearly states, that these people were swarthy of color and had curly hair, and they're from Spain and Portugal. These aren't Africans. And these are the ancestors of people that are now called African American. Falsely so. Not only were these Iberians, or ancient Spanish and Portuguese, swarthy of color and had curly hair, they inhabited the British Islands. To really prove this point, let's get the definition of swarthy. Here in an English dictionary from 1828, let's get the definition of swarthy. Swarthy, dark of complexion, black, dusky, or tawny. What does swarthy mean? To be of a dark complexion, or black. To be dark of complexion, you have dark skin, to be of a black complexion. That's what swarthy means. It doesn't mean a tan white person. Another lie they're going to tell you is that complexion is referring to one's hair color, but that is false. Let's get the definition of what complexion actually means. Complexion, the color of the skin, particularly of the face, the color of the external parts of the body or thing, as a fair complexion, a dark complexion, or the complexion of the sky. Complexion does not mean hair color. It means the color of your skin, particularly of the face. This primary source says that the Iberians, the indigenous inhabitants of Spain and Portugal that later immigrated to the British Isles, were swarthy, dark-skinned black people with curly hair. American and Caribbean blacks are not African. We descend from the original swarthy inhabitants of Europe.